All right, so if you can't tell by the beautiful image of Bayushi Shouju here, we're going to be talking about Scorpion tonight. And so I've brought on one of the best Scorpion players I know. I don't think that's weird to say that. You have some credentials. You made the cut at Gen Con. You're a pretty big deal, I would say.
Yeah, I'm basically the biggest deal. I made top 16 and then immediately lost to a matchup that I counter. So that's good.
Well, it was like the 7th game or whatever that weekend. So, fatigue starts to set in.
He was just way better than me, I'll be honest.
All right. Okay. See, mark of a good player. Yeah, so basically the thing with Scorpion, just to start it off, is I think it feels like a bad play experience for people playing against it, especially people who haven't played against the matchup that much, because the game that you're playing is a completely different game from what everybody else is doing. Like, just at a baseline, Scorpion are the only people that can really do a hard Dishonor deck, right? Like, Crab can sort of do the switch, right? And they're not even... Maybe with the new role, they'll be able to bring it back a lot harder, but... so far, it's basically just Scorpion who play this game, and so feels very different from every other clan matchup, I think, no matter what clan you're playing, and it throws people, like even experienced players, and it can be very tilting, and so I thought we could just sort of talk about why that is. At a base level, it's because all the other clans are showing up playing one game, like they're playing like checkers or chess or something, and then the Scorpion players roll up and they're like, who wants to play poker?
See, I was thinking it's going to be more like Scattergories, but yeah, poker, sure.
Well, whatever games you choose to pick, it's like they're playing a different game from the one that you're playing. And it lets people trip all over themselves and sort of screw up what they're doing. Especially me. I'm speaking from experience.
Well, I think part of... kind of on the same lines of what you were saying, a big part of Scorpion's strength and its continued strength in the meta, and just in general, I feel like it's kind of baked in design-wise, for better or worse, which we could get into later. But, we capitalize on people making mistakes very well. This is why Scorpion will tend to dominate, utterly dominate the mid-level of play, because any mistake, a very experienced Scorpion player can turn any mistake into a kill. And even a less experienced Scorpion player who knows the clan well enough, we latch on to mistakes well, and we punish very, very harshly.
Yeah,
and
they definitely punish it harder than most clans.
Yeah, the unfortunate reality of it is, if you mess up at certain points in the game against Scorpion, even more so than other clans, if you just mess up once, you probably just lose on the spot, which is it's not the most fun thing to deal with, I'll admit.
It also, they have, they're the only people who can just sit there during the action window, at the very, very end of the game and just go backhanded, and you're dead. And yeah, I think that alone just feels bad every time it happens.
There's a lot of aspects to it too. There's a huge psychological aspect of the clan, not only from the actual act of playing as and against it, but just the overarching design of it. It doesn't feel good as a human being who has thoughts to have things taken from you.
Yes.
Scorpion, they used to take your honor. Now we just make you lose it. But making you lose your honor is psychologically, no matter how much we want to admit these biases, it feels worse than your opponent gaining something. It's just the way it is. If Scorpion was honoring out on people, I think people would probably still not like it much, but they would hate it way less.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the fact that backhanded just means that if you're at 3 honor, you're actually literally dead. You start with 2 to 3 less honor every game.
Yeah, you just have to look at that number and go, okay, that's not actually an 11, it's an 8.
Yeah, I'm at 6, I'm actually horrendously in danger. This is the worst day of my entire life, and perhaps the worst day of anybody's life ever.
Yeah, that was a big shift for me in getting a little bit better at the matchup, was realizing, once I'm sub 7 or lower, you're in this really tenuous position. Because if you fuck up something, or you just give them easy pings, like off of characters they're gonna leave, like, right, like if you're playing cheap conflict characters, like I'm playing Shrine Maidens, or you're playing Ancient Masters, and you do something that, and again, it's like capitalizing on mistakes. Like if you do something to let the Scorpion player throw a dishonor tag on them, you're setting yourself up for failure.
Yeah, absolutely. Like every little ping counts, and it's one of those things that even the stuff that doesn't feel big against Scorpion, it can be huge. And that's not to say, it's not to say that Scorpion relies on people making mistakes, because I think that is a bit too much into the Scorpion bias camp. Which
it's a little reductionist to say that. Yeah.
Right. Like there are many games that I win, and I can point to exactly why I won, even if they're games that I thought I had lost. And that doesn't mean that Scorpion is bad,
right,
or anything like that. Like Scorpion is, like third or fourth right now in my opinion, and arguably could be higher. But it does mean that when you train yourself extensively to understand the clan, whether that be by playing as it or playing against it often enough, you start to get a feeling for the manners in which you can mess up that will kill you, that don't necessarily feel like they're killing you at the time until you're dead.
Yeah, and that point about actually picking up the cards and playing them, boy, we've talked about this a lot in chat, but when I played one game, we were just screwing around, like me and Eric were playing casual games, and Eric was like, why don't you play Scorpion? And I was like, okay, I'm gonna try it. And then I picked up my hand and I was just like, what the hell do I do with this? I don't understand. I had like 2 chuds on the board, and like half my hand was dead cards. So I drew 2 backhanded compliments, and I'm like, okay, well, this doesn't do anything right now. It opened my mind to how differently you have to approach playing the matchup, like as a Scorpion and against a Scorpion.
Yeah, there's a lot of cards, even in the best builds for the clan, that are either situationally dead or just like outright dead. Your backhanded compliments, their text is blank until they kill somebody, which is fine. It's not like it's a bad card.
Right.
It's a fucking fantastic card. It is amazing. But, that card doesn't actively help you win conflicts. It doesn't actively advance your win condition until you have essentially already won in a weird kind of roundabout way.
Yeah.
So when you have these sort of dead cards in your hand, your opponent is worried about so many things that they might not be taking advantage of that as much as they should. But,
yeah,
we've spoken about this at length. There's a sort of thing that I've spoken about in Scorpion for a long time, and it's a bit of a flowchart in a weird way. It doesn't necessarily always boil down this way, but you can judge what your Scorpion opponent has or is capable of doing based on what cards they're expending and like how aggressively they're doing it. There are times where if you see that they're on the defensive, if they use a Fate Worse than Death, you should be pretty worried that or rather you should be trying to latch onto them because they're probably worried. That's a bomb. The moment a Scorpion player uses a bomb, they're probably running out of options. It's not always the case, and it's tough to kind of paint this picture without playing, so we'll get to that when we do, but
yeah,
it's definitely something important to note. When you can go for the throat against Scorpion is a huge factor in beating them.
I think another thing to point out just before we get into an actual game is the other big thing besides, or in terms of something you said to me was basically just wait and do nothing, and a lot of times that's better than doing something that isn't really good. So, like, attacking just to try and claim a ring that has, like, an okay effect, a lot of times it's just better to pass because you're giving Scorpion another chance to throw Dishonor on your guy, and if you're not guaranteed, if you don't think you're guaranteed to maybe get a break on that, it's not really worthwhile going for it. And it also, the way that you guys use Dishonor effects, and especially Mark of Shame, it's really important to hang on to your honor, dishonor stuff to just counteract whatever Scorpion is doing. Like, a big mistake I used to make a lot was playing honor effects on my guys, because I'm like, oh, I've got 2 glory, I've got 3 glory, this will be great. And then you just slam a Mark of Shame down on it, and it's like, oh. But that's a case of you capitalizing on a mistake somebody's making. And it doesn't seem like it's a mistake to honor your character, but against Scorpion, it absolutely is.
Yeah, one of the unfortunate things that I was kind of talking about in regards to Scorpion design is that there are cards like Mark of Shame, which, full disclosure, the card is bullshit, degenerate, and not fair.
But like, it is in the environment.
Right. Intuitively, the counterplay to Scorpion should be, oh, I'll honor my guys. Unfortunately, because Mark of Shame exists, you can't do that. It's no longer... While it is intuitive to say, oh, if my guys are honored, they're safer, it's just not the case because Mark of Shame drags you down to Dishonored immediately and you gave me full value from it.
Right. Yeah, it's not the buffer that you probably think that it is when you first start playing it.
Yep. And just to kind of touch on what you were saying about just doing nothing against Scorpion, this is a bit of a throwback, so I won't get too deeply in depth, but back when Dragon was considered to be the best deck along with Scorpion, part of the reason that Dragon had such a really, really uniquely powerful matchup into Scorpion was because they were the clan at that time that could afford to simply sit there and do nothing the most. And so what happened was they would sit there and they would do so much nothing that eventually Scorpion just couldn't deal with all the nothing they'd done because Dragon was just slamming a guy on board every turn and sitting there. They didn't really have to try to advance the game state because eventually they would crush us with value.
Right, they could just build up a board state with their Great Dynasty, and there's not too many ways that you can actually like fuck with that as a Scorpion player, right? Like your best ability is like maybe you're splashing Noble Sack, or you can try and pull off an I Can Swim, but if they don't engage with you in conflicts, that's really difficult to do.
Right, so there's a lot of stuff that is either conflict locked or just, again, we have a finite amount of bombs. It just so happens that, one, with any mistakes, they get us there way easier, and two, with proper play, most games we have enough bombs that we can get through. But there are some where if people just slow the brakes, like they put the brakes on a little bit, it's okay. Eventually we are going to run out of ways to stop you. We have 3 Fate Worse Than Deaths and 3 Mark of Shames. And those are some of our biggest bombs. We obviously have stuff like Noble Sacrifice, or in the case of the Phoenix Splash, Display of Power. But it's about surviving through Scorpion stuff, or in the case of Unicorn, killing them so fast that they have no chance to stop you.
Right, that is the other strategy. Just murder them before any of this happens.
Correct.
All right, so why don't we get into a game? What I was thinking was maybe we could do a game with you playing Scorpion, and maybe you can talk a little bit about what you're doing while we play, and then we'll switch. I'll play Scorpion, and you can play whatever you feel like playing.
Sounds like a plan to me.
All right, cool. So I'll throw a game up on Jigoku. And I'll message you the password.
Love having the password message to me. Oh, heck yeah. All right.
So I'm going to play Seeker of Earth just to also do a little testing there.
Sounds good. Would you like me to play the Phoenix Splash or the Crane Splash variant right now?
Whatever you think would be better. This is your wheelhouse.
All right, I'll play the Crane Splash because I think the Phoenix Splash is a bit more binary.
Yeah, win the flip. Game's over.
Game over, man. Guess I've lost. Wow, I love all these. All these cards are really good, Ray. Oh. Wow, these cards are just fantastic. Just wonderful.
Yeah, when we get to the flip, we should definitely talk about what kind of stuff you're looking for on your first turn.
Yep.
All right. Cool.
Oh, time to mulligan some cards, huh?
But what do you mulligan? Oh boy, double Keeper Initiates and a Bayushi Manipulator. So imagine you're happy to see the Manipulator.
Yeah.
And Imperial Palace, because this all kind of looks good.
So my initial flop was a Manipulator, a Favorable, a Keeper, and the Palace. I just mulled the Favorable away. Scorpion is always pretty happy to just do as little turn 1 as possible, because that's like, it's money, man. Gotta take it easy.
Bank it up.
As a Phoenix player, what were you looking for?
I'm always basically looking for either a Solemn Scholar or an Eth Dreamer, just to start getting the Shugenja train rolling. I'm playing, I'm not playing Dredgebird, so I'm not looking for like Satoshi or anything like that. I flipped the Master Gi Satoshi. I kept that because that is a great anti-Scorpion card. Because, like you said, a lot of stuff is conflict locked in Scorpion. That can help you avoid a lot of the bad stuff.
Yep. So Master Gi Satoshi, like you said, it stops our conflict lock cards. It's stuff like I Can Swim, even being able to dishonor easily with, Way the Scorpion, stuff like that. It's tough.
Or Assassinate.
Yep, even being able to assassinate small guys, always a big deal in Scorpion, because we're typically on 3. Love putting Fate on a courtier. So here, I'm pretty sure every clan, no matter what, should be bidding 5. I know people might think maybe they don't bid 5 against Scorpion. Well, you do, especially turn 1. If your Scorpion opponent bids 1 on you turn 1, you should win, because even though they just took a chunk of your honor, they don't have any cards, and a lot of their cards are dead.
Yeah, it kind of puts you in almost that unicorn spot where you're so up on cards, and half of their cards probably don't even really affect a conflict super strong early in the game, that you can just sort of hope to get way ahead of them before they can dishonor you out.
Yep, at that point, you basically just jam earrings down their throat forever. Wow, look at all this passing we're doing. It's wonderful.
Right? Now, I think this would be dangerous if I didn't know what splash you're on, but I think I'd try and sneak an Earth Ring in here.
Yep, you pretty much should always be going for the Earth Ring, even if you think they're on Phoenix Splash, because you want to make them use a display of power. If they accept getting Earth Ring, then have a DOP in hand, then they're taking a pretty big risk. And if they DOP it, that's the nature of the business, right? Kind of happens.
Yeah. I'm feeling good about this one. All right, Abandoning Honor.
So I'm going to do that sweet thing where I don't defend. And I'm going to do just the best thing in the whole world. I'm going to play Assassination.
Oh, you love to see it.
Oh, darn. So with Assassination, assume your opponent has it, and that's okay. It's okay to still put a Fate on your guy, because when they do it, hopefully he has a Shrine Maiden in hand to play, but if not, it's whatever. But when they do that, they can't do it again, so just Fate a guy from your hand. Or, if you have multiple 1-drops on the flops, sometimes you can just Fate 2 1-drops. And you have to try to push through these Assassinations, and again, remember they're finite.
And I do have a Shrine Maiden.
Well, that hurts.
Good hit off of there. Cloud and Soup Storm.
So I would normally recommend putting a Fate in the Shrine Maiden. One, because if I were playing the Phoenix Splash, this gives me an opportunity to ding you immediately. So I could, court games or Way the Scorpion, get the ping off.
Yeah.
Blah, blah, blah. And again, because I can't assassinate it, and I generally don't want to assassinate people that do not have Fate, although sometimes Scorpion, has to.
Right.
Oh, he's aggressively passing.
What's your philosophy on when to use the city? Do you try and save it as a soft pass?
You want to use it as a soft pass as often as you can. There are a little bit of niche cases where you want to immediately use it. Mm-hmm. Like, if you think your opponent is at a stable enough honor on turn 1, for example, that they can afford an assassination on for anything you might have put 2 fate on, like a blackmail artist or something, which typically is a turn 1 play.
Yeah.
Then maybe you want to make sure that you do it while you're under them, but it's pretty rare that they're gonna want to get under you, like aggressively.
Mm-hmm.
And it used to be a better soft pass back in the day, but now there are more instances where you want to immediately use it.
Cool, I get a ring.
Hey, that's a good hit.
Right, good hit off the Earth Ring.
It's quite a good hit. I guess I'll go for this ring because I have 2 keepers showing.
That makes a lot of sense.
It's pretty nice.
On top of pinging an honor.
Oh.
Ooh.
This is just the worst feeling I've ever felt.
Let's see. Trying to think of how bad this is because I can favorable in, so at least not get pinged for undefended.
Mm-hmm.
I'll just give you the heads up. I do not have a DOP, which would be the number 1 play here.
Yeah, DOPing basically any air into any Earth Ring you can is really good against Scorpion. Scorpion is particularly susceptible to random discards, so the Earth Ring is much more powerful than people give it credit for against them. I think not enough people aggressively just air and Earth. Like, number 1 priority, unless you're getting a whole bunch of money off of Ring, air and Earth are so crucial.
Yeah, I think they're basically the rings that are worth going for against Scorpion. Like, if you're worried about bombs, Earth Ring is a good way to just randomly pitch people's bombs. And that's great.
It sure is. And even hitting like their duty or something is a pretty huge deal. There's games where Scorpion can just like accidentally die because they got their Earth Ring dutied out of 14 cards. It happens. Or their duty Earth Ring, rather.
Yeah, it also makes them... another thing you told me, Scorpion doesn't really want to spend Assassinates because your honor can get to a precarious situation like so quickly. So pitching a duty, it just makes it even like more of a difficult choice for the Scorpion to actually want to do that.
Yep. So as a Phoenix player, and I'm sure Ray knows this, but for people watching and listening, your number 1 priority in this matchup is, I'd say, along with DOP as Shrine Maiden, I would probably aggressively mulligan anything that is not those. I would keep Censures only in the case of me having a Palace and like being pretty confident.
Yeah. Well, you are super getting favor now.
Yeah.
What was that?
Keeper Initiates are a pretty underrated form of high roll, and having 2 of them active as Scorpion pretty early is a really big deal because it lets us get in those conflicts as cheaply as possible, which is exactly what we want. So here we see one of those instances where not putting the Fate on the Shrine Maiden, it causes you to get pinged a little earlier than you would have and not have that small body next turn, which in its own right is pretty useful.
Yeah, that's true. And I mean, even if you slap a Dishonor token for next turn, I'm still getting a 1/1 out of the Shrine Maiden.
Yep.
So probably would have been good.
I almost always Fate like every 1-drop ever, and especially against Scorpion after they use an assassination, it's just really good. It's just good practice.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. All right, there's the Dishonor. I'm done. Let's see, where I'm rolling in 3 cards up on you, and at 8 honor.
8 honor is not the best place to be turn 2.
No, it's not.
But again, that was a turn in which DOP was not active. I now have the favor, which is obviously super helpful as Scorpion. I would go so far as to say that this game is looking a little rough right off the bat, but it was kind of due to variance.
Yeah, I mean, keepers are pretty fucking good.
Yeah, keepers are really good, and not having the DOP for my ring that was was gonna ping you, blah blah blah.
Yeah,
it can get rough quickly against Scorpion, as you can see, and sometimes it's not.
Side note,
as anything in this game.
Oh, go ahead.
Sorry, I was gonna say, as anything in this game, it's important to try to differentiate the times in which it isn't your fault and the times in which it is. Sometimes you just get high rolled. Sometimes there's things you can do.
That's definitely true. All right. Oh, nice Satori.
Thanks. He's cool.
It's a pretty cool guy. Now, the Maya Mystic here feels like a situation where you don't have a ton of attachments I care about as Scorpion, right? Like, Mark of Shame is not actually an attachment in all reality. So if I play that, I'm basically just giving you another chance to ping me.
Correct. There are times in which you'll want to play a Chud to not get the undefended conflict, and then I just ping you anyways.
Sure.
And it feels pretty...
So let's talk bids here. Like, I'm obviously not in a great situation. If you one bid me, I'm in a lot of danger.
Right.
This feels like a situation where I'd maybe throw a 3.
Yeah, I'd say anything from 1 to 3 is acceptable. Depends on how confident you are in your hand. Crucially, if I were to 5 bid here and go to 13 cards, and you 1 bid, you go to 12. So you're not far behind card advantage, and you would gain a bazillion honor. Gaining 4 honor is kind of like gaining infinity honor versus Scorpion.
That's a great way to look at it, actually. If you bid 5 and I end up bidding 1, where does that put us? And yeah, that's not the worst thing in the world.
Yep. So there's a couple things here that are really, really crucial to determining what the Scorpion splash is. Let's say you didn't know me, and let's say you didn't know that I was on Crane Splash, which I am.
Right. But what are the clues?
The board and we can... Besides the fact that you've Earth Ringed to Soul Beyond, let's say you didn't do that. Let's say you Earth Ring something random that was not a Crane card. There are 2 clues here. I would say 1 really, but the most important clue is the Satori showing on my row. There are definitely going to be some Phoenix Splash players who are playing Satori, but he is at his best and really truly shines in the Crane Splash, and that is a big, big tell that I am splashing Crane, besides the fact that you've made me discard a Crane card.
Why is Satori so good with the Crane Splash?
So, because he has the built-in pride, and because the Crane Splash can afford more easily to run cards like Bonsai, which will enable him to win conflict. He's going to honor himself. He becomes a huge beat stick, which, because the Crane Splash tends to dual pressure and actually breaks a bit while pressuring Dishonor, he becomes just a beastly beat stick. He's very good at defending against, clans like Unicorn. But a big part of that, again, is, like I said, the pride keyword. When he honors himself and we don't have to spend any cards on it, that's insane for the Crane Splash, because we're running 2 Voice of Honors, and some people are on 3, but I think 2 is the norm. And so having a guy that we don't mind dumping money into, that is also going to honor himself to keep our cancels online, is huge. He's very, very good.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense with the Voice of Honor and the Pride.
Yep, and on the off chance he gets dishonored, we have Soul Beyond Approach as a backup plan. So there's a lot of synergy within the splash for him.
Yep.
But going back, if you suspect their Phoenix Splash, you pretty much always want to 1 bid, and if you suspect their Crane Splash, you could shoot for like just know that if I 1 bid and you 3 bid and you go to 6, you're still probably in a super bad spot, because if I 1 bid here, it tells you that I am very, very confident in what I am capable of doing to you this turn.
So that's another thing to watch for too, is if the Scorpion player starts low bidding you, you can feel confident that they have like a couple backhanded compliments or mark of shames or something like that.
Right. Like, especially on turn 2, which the Phoenix Splash is more typically gonna bid to 1 on turn. The Crane Splash usually wants to get a bit more card advantage going, or just try to get more cards that do stuff. So
okay,
if they start 1-bidding you early, that's a pretty big tell that they are aggressively trying to kill you. All right, so I bid 3, and I'm still down on cards, and now you're at a much more stable amount of honor, which is 10.
yes, it feels a lot more comfortable already.
Yep. It's important to always ask your opponent how much cards they have in hand if you're not on Jigoku, because sometimes you'll just want to slam that 5-bid or that 3-bid thinking that you need to, but, you know, in this case, you bid 1 and you're still up on cards on me, which is pretty good.
Yeah, it's definitely a habit that I've tried to get into more playing in paper at locals and stuff. Like, just ask people how much cards they have before you do the bid. And, you know, try to do it all the time, because you don't want to, like, maybe signal that you're particularly changing your bid. So if you just get in the habit of doing that all the time, it's just a good habit to be in.
Yes, sir.
All right, it's Master Gisai Toshi. Where are we going?
It's definitely not either of the rings with Fate on them, because those rings suck.
Right, it's air or earth.
It is air or earth.
Those are the rings that matter.
Depending on what you have in hand is pretty important here. I have favor, so my centers are basically what ring you value more, because I can say, for the most part, if you take the earth ring first, like, I'm first player, but
right,
if you name the earth ring, I'm probably still going to try to get it, but if you name the air ring, I'm not always going to care enough. As weird as that might sound to people, because the air ring directly advances my win condition. It's the air ring in tandem with the earth ring that Scorpion cares about, because the earth ring lets them get through as many of their cards as possible, which they have this big wide array of cards, this toolbox that they need to start digging through to kill you. And lowering your amount of cards in hand is crucial to then gathering the card advantage they want to start pressuring your honor even further.
So I think I'm going to go with earth.
What a good ring. Isn't it such a great ring, man?
It's so good. Not only do you gain a card, but they discard a card.
What a card.
So good.
You love to see it, folks. You really do. Boy, I gotta tell you. That sucks.
Alright, we're going to do a little bit of digging here. Well, okay.
All right. Unfortunately, those are not display powers.
They're not. They're not. That is what I was looking for. Alright, well, this isn't the worst thing in the world if I get Earth Ringed here.
And again, yeah, you got Earth Ring, you lost an honor, but we're still at card parity. It's 12-12.
Yep.
Which is, man, that's a good place to be.
Yeah,
must feel great.
And I'm at 9 honor, not too shabby.
Boy, now that is a ring.
So yes, it is. I'm gonna poke at you. No. Really, the worst thing I can do is run into secret cache. So I'm not gonna bother flipping anything
here either.
No.
So before you declare this conflict,
Oh, I already declared it.
well, let's assume he didn't quite yet.
Yeah.
Because you can always roll it back or move it elsewhere. The big question is, you have a 3 Fate Master of Gisei Toshi. How bad does it feel if I were to make that not alive?
Oh, very bad.
Yeah. So it's always going to feel bad when something dies against Scorpion, and I'm not telling people that they shouldn't feel bad, because, man, you really should, and I love it when you do, as a Scorpion. But it's crucial to keep in mind, it's just what Scorpion does. Scorpion is going to kill some of your guys. At least once per game, and often twice, sometimes 3 times. Your guys are just going to explode, and they're not going to exist anymore. So in a case like this, the question becomes, if I manage to kill that Master of Gisei Toshi when you swing into this Abandoning Honor, let's say I Mark of Shame it and I were to bonsai your guy and force a break, does that completely fuck you?
I have to work through the negative emotions.
Yes.
I don't.
It's gonna feel bad.
I don't think it completely fucks me. No.
You do have another Master Gisei Toshi showing, which is quite nice.
It is, and I like having Kudaka into this matchup too, just because of how important the air ring is.
Sure is. It makes the air ring the best ring. It's pretty sweet.
It does. Imagine if there was just a ring that said gain a money and a card. You would hit that ring all day.
Oh, all day. And this one says gain a money and a card and honor. What a ring.
Yeah. So I feel okay Dynasty side, I guess, is what I'm saying.
Alright. That's fine. Let's see how this goes.
Plays Mark of Shame, plays Bonsai. Oh, there it is. That's okay. This is fine. This is all fine. But you can also see how I basically walked into this, right?
Correct. So there's times where you walk into stuff, whether it's willingly or not, and it's about, one, again, really crucial, take it in stride, accept that it is going to happen, and do your best to keep pushing through it, because eventually I'm not going to have ways to do this anymore. And on top of that, you're not dead yet.
And you're giving me a break, and that actually does kind of advance my win condition, so it's not like...
Absolutely.
This isn't exactly free for you.
And to even kind of go further on that, Phoenix, depending on the... They have a lot of ways to kind of counteract that they're getting hardcore fucked by Scorpion sometimes. We do have a very finite amount of ways to deal with Phoenix's stuff, especially a card like Master Gisei Toshi. Master Gisei Toshi is basically deal-withable by killing it with Noble Sacrifice outside of a conflict, killing it with Abandoning Honor outside of a conflict, or rather, you know, in a conflict, I guess. Or my opponent making a mistake and putting it into a conflict that is not like called by Master Gisei Toshi. So take it in stride, keep pushing through, and eventually, if I don't kill you before then, you kill me.
Yeah, hopefully.
And boy, killing Scorpion, it's a unique feeling.
It does feel pretty good. So, did you play 2 Fate onto Bayushi Lyre specifically so you could farm meditations and be okay?
Yes.
Okay.
So, 1-drops have absurd value because they're broken, as they have way too much numbers on them for how much they cost. And I wanted him to be in play for another turn.
Right, Quarter Your Trait is good for you.
Quarter Your Trait's good. I could honor him. I could dishonor your guy. And again, just having him in play, it's just good value.
Yeah.
Even putting 2 Fate on him was good enough value. And you're not really allowed to assassinate against me almost ever, so...
Yeah, that's one of the reasons I first took Assassinate out of my deck, was to just... I did not have the discipline to not play it in this exact situation. And going down to 7 here would be not ideal.
Yeah, no, it definitely wouldn't. Especially given that Scorpion has, you know... often at least a few characters on conflict side that could just utterly mess you up.
So I'm going to end up at 7 at the end of this round. So Air Ring bought me a little bit of time.
Yep, 7 is not quite safe, especially versus the Phoenix Splash. Like, they have much more ways to kind of combo. The Crane Splash, it's still one of those, like, you got to be wary because you're on a little bit of thin ice at times.
Yep. Seven glory. That's a lot.
Yeah, that's a lot of glory.
Till Earth becomes sky action.
Well, that's unfortunate. That guy does say courtier.
He does. And he's got 3 on him, which, as you pointed out, is outrageous for one fate.
It sure is outrageous. I'm mad just thinking about it.
So we're going to try this again.
Dang. I really like Fate.
Well, you have 13 of it.
That is true. I could spend more.
So yeah, I think in this situation, we both just slam 1. You can't afford to give me any honor, and I can't afford to give you any honor.
Correct.
Ooh, those rings are starting to get a lot of money on them.
They sure do have a lot of money on them, but man. Can you take that money with you if you die, Ray?
Poetic.
It's another one of those ways in which Scorpion can kind of build an advantage too, because you do really have to focus on not dying against them, but that means that I'm probably going to get a ring with 2 money on it, possibly 2. And that doesn't feel very good, but Scorpion is the clan that doesn't feel very good to play against, rather.
Exactly. So we just got to push through that nonsense.
Yeah, fuck value if you win, right?
I'm going air, especially too, because you've got those 2 keepers. This suddenly becomes a very important ring.
Yeah, it's definitely the most important ring. 1, because you're approaching the danger zone. 2, because I'm vaguely in the danger zone, except I'm not, because my stronghold says City of the Open Hand at the top. But yeah, I do have 2 keepers in discard, which is huge.
Yeah, I guess while we're on the topic, it's also important to note that you can probably give up the fantasy of dishonoring Scorpion, like, unless you're also playing Scorpion.
Yeah, it's basically never going to happen unless they've already used their duty or you've made them discard it, right. And you somehow have ways of, like, hardcore pressuring their honor, which you, like, they would have to mess up, really, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, it's a real, like, edge case scenario where that's possible. Definitely not possible if you don't see the duty in the discard pile. Like, mechanically not possible.
Yeah. Gotta tell you, I do not like that. Master of Issei Toshi is quite an obnoxious card.
It is. Let's see what's under that palace. Shameful display. Wow. That doesn't feel good.
Feels great for me.
Yeah. Yeah, Satori, pretty good.
Pretty big boy.
Pretty big boy. So now you have your Voice of Honors turned on. It's an important thing to keep note of.
Yes. They're not on in this conflict, thankfully, but they are on.
And when you've got a big guy like I've got, right, Master Satoshi, Dishonored in a conflict, always be aware of the dials. I mean, we're at 1-1, so I can't get sent to the swim team. But there are ways that Scorp can manipulate their dial. They've been known to run Maze of Illusion from time to time for that purpose.
Oh, those sneaky bastards running Maze.
Running the
those
coin flip.
Unscrupulous bastards, I tell you. Thankfully, again, going back to Gisei Toshi being so strong against Scorpion, she's really safe from a lot of the answers that I could have to at least like kill her right now.
Yeah.
You know, if I had defended with the True Seeker and Shamefold, she was probably getting thrown off a bridge directly after this conflict, but I defended with Satori and Shamefold. So she's probably not getting thrown off a bridge, but regardless.
Yeah, and it's not like you want to throw away your Satori to a noble sacrifice.
Yeah, I sure don't. And again, forcing cards through that you might not get otherwise against Scorpion is really nice when you have a Gisei Toshi out. So I can't censure, I can't Voice of Honor, I just can't stop him. I don't have a spell except Maze of Illusion. And that's if I have it in hand or run it.
Right. I don't see a way to not give you this air ring. Oh well.
It do be that way sometimes. Boy, that's... I'm not gonna lie, listen, those of you at home watching, this is a very rough game.
It's a tenuous situation.
This is not the norm, I swear.
Well, no, it's going to be a great counterexample because you're going to effortlessly walk through this deck, and then I'm going to pick up the deck that you're playing, and it's not going to go that way. At the very least, if you gain one insight from this, it's that Scorpion doesn't really win for free unless you really know what the hell you're doing.
You really do got to know what you're doing. That is a fact.
Sometimes my deck wins for free when I don't know what I'm doing.
To be fair, a lot of decks can win for free sometimes.
Give
yourself a little credit.
I mean, I think the most high rolly is like Unicorn, Phoenix, and I don't know. Pretty much those two. Maybe Lion. Oh, right, I'm Seeker of Earth. I get a money for this card now.
Oh my goodness. You're rich.
I'm going up a money, and you're going down a money. So Water Ring is very bad for me. I really don't want Satori to come back into the game.
Yeah, and it really sucks to try to DOP it here for just some myriad reasons. I have all my cancels active.
Yep.
And it also doesn't do anything when you do display if I were to allow it through. So like there's all sorts of just it's obnoxious, man. It's obnoxious.
I think I need to try and make something happen here.
You definitely need to not die, which is pretty crucial. And I think again a lot of people gotta remember versus Scorpion, your number one goal 90% of the time is to not die, because an article that myself and a good friend of mine, Eric Stenberg, Dark Eric on the Discord, referred to is a really old Magic the Gathering article called Who's the Beatdown? And it basically is about determining who needs to advance the game state more at any given time. And the answer, despite Scorpion having these weird control elements and feeling like a control deck at times, the answer is often that Scorpion is indeed the beatdown, because, again, as I've said, we have finite resources, and you technically have more ways to gain honor than we have to make you lose it, but only given enough time.
It's not about winning, it's about not dying until you win.
Exactly. Unless it's about winning because you're a unicorn and you played charge on Shaggy Guy. Then I guess you got me.
Yeah. I think we're gonna throw a bonsai here. No kick.
I'm feeling pretty good.
Yeah, what I wouldn't give for a katana right now.
The old fine katana.
How's this for value?
Uh-oh. Soup Storm for one. Are you winning?
I am. Oh, the sneak!
The sneaky boy.
Well, you know what's coming next. The Raydog special. Now here's where you play a second Goblin Sneak, and I feel like an absolute fool.
You would really feel like quite a fool.
Ooh, Cunning Magistrate. Do have a cloud for that boy. I'm still losing the fight. Man, you do hate to see it. You're right, man. I think this is the one bomb that we haven't mentioned yet, this Cunning Magistrate.
Yeah. So in a few matchups, he's basically the only character you should ever cloud under any circumstances. Not as many people are on Kachiko anymore, and Satori doesn't generally warrant a cloud, although in a very edge case I'd say so. But Cunning is a brutal, brutal bomb, and he basically needs to be clouded immediately because Scorpion does not have good ways to deal with Cloud the Mind. Calling in favors the cloud onto somebody else not only feels bad, but generally you're going to be able to match us, you know, just re-cloud him, and we go, oh, that sucks.
And I think, I'm gonna try playing this just because I need to, even if you're gonna cancel it. Yeah. Well, that was a shot in the dark.
Yep. Yeah, there are some things you have to try to resolve through cancels just to hope. Like there's definitely games where I don't have them. I mean, I only have 8 cards in my hand, so
yeah. But yeah, I think one of the things that makes Cunning feel less bad for me now is the fact that you have to do at least usually some decent work with other cards to make Cunning worth it, right? Like Cunning on its own doesn't actually do anything. You need Dishonored characters. That means Scorpion is spending resources, and that's good.
That's exactly what you want.
Yeah.
You want your Scorpion opponent to spend their resources, and Cunning is a huge bomb, and if you can't stop Cunning, there's often times where it will either game you or just be a big blowout. Like right there, it would have been a pretty big blowout if you didn't have a cloud. But what comes into play, not necessarily right at that moment, but if I ever play a Cunning and I just start wheeling off way ofs, you might lose that conflict pretty bad, but I did spend a bunch of resources to do it. So it's basically what you said. Just a really, really important thing to keep in mind always.
Yeah, you got to keep your eye on the fact that Scorpion's resources are strong, but super limited. I'm going to try and stand up here. And I don't. Oh, you really hate to see it, folks.
It's something you absolutely do indeed hate to see.
So now I'm going deep into the danger zone. I'll tell you what this deck needs. 3 Display of Power.
Display of Power is a very good card, and
yeah.
It's very good against Scorpion.
I hate not seeing it more than I hate seeing too many of it.
So now that you're reaching pretty deep into the danger zone,
Yeah.
your cards are much lower than mine now. You can assume there are some amount of backhanded compliments in my hand. And you can also assume there's probably another bomb in there somewhere. Things are not looking good, but let's look at my conflict. So I've used one of my marks. One of my Soul Beyond is gone, so I only have one more in the deck. And both of my censures are gone, and most Scorpions are not going to be on more than 2 censures. Some are not even on 2. So don't look at how bad you might be losing at the time, other than to, assess how well you need to survive. But keep in mind that I have expended some resources here, and that Master Gi Satoshi is not currently dead, which means I probably don't have the means to make it dead. So that's going to be your workhorse probably for the rest of the game. And if you were to turn a corner on me, whether that means getting the favor somehow or just continuously fighting through these bombs, there's always a light at the end of the tunnel with Scorpion, even if it feels really tough to get there.
And, you've played one Assassinate, and I don't need to worry about more Assassinates because you're at 3, so it's pretty unlikely that you're going to jam one through.
And you just got to draw 2 cards. That was pretty cool.
It's pretty cool. I mean, you also got to draw 2, but, let's not split hairs.
That's true, but those 2 cards were a much larger percentage of your hand than they were of mine.
True.
A strong feeling I don't need that palace anymore.
Okay, Ancestral Shrine. That can help me stay in the game.
That is a very good card. I'm happy it's on a broken province because that is one of the best ways to staunch the blood flow against Scorpion. That card is so good. It's definitely my 3rd Keeper Initiate, though, I gotta tell you.
There it is.
Having 2 masters is pretty nice, although it really depends on the weight of your hand as well, which is this isn't the best flop to see here, I don't think, given the circumstances as far as the fate situation goes.
Yeah.
That Void Ring has 3 fate on it, and I still don't want it. That's sweet. It sure is the airing. You are darn skippy.
Yep. Now, Alibi Artist is the card that I always wish I could put a cloud on.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, again, that I can just play an Alibi Artist and essentially tower him by putting 17 trillion fate on him at any time. Because you're not allowed to assassinate him, and he is incredible when we get down to 1 bids. He is one of the best cards in the entire deck. Both sides. He's very good. Not necessarily a bomb in the more straightforward sense as a Cunning Magistrate, but certainly a card that is going to accrue a massive amount of value.
Oh boy, For Honor. We are in the hot zone. He's coming to Air Ring. Oh, it's so hot in the hot zone.
You love to see it, folks. You really do.
Satori is such a big boy. And the fact that he can just buff himself up to a 10 right now.
Yeah,
Ooh.
him having words on him as opposed to being a card that I have to play is pretty crucial here, and also means that there are certainly situations where he will warrant a cloud in this specific instance because you're in such a dangerous spot. Really depends again on what the rest of your hand looks like.
Yeah. I think my goose is cooked, as they say. The real unfortunate thing is the only card in my hand that can take my score over yours is gonna make me lose an honor.
Ah, heck. See, I was being greedy and slow rolling, not using Satori, and look what it did for me.
Yeah, I was a little surprised at the pass. And then I remembered I should be playing Cloud.
Yeah. You might die if you don't, and that feels bad.
I still think I'm going to die. Well, does he have it? The legendary triple backhand? Oh, there's number 2. I don't want to pass. Ah, there it is. Okay. Excellent demonstration of
I definitely grabbed
Scorpion.
off my alibi artist, and I was like, "Oh no, Ray, I'm sorry." It didn't have to be like that, but it ended up being like that.
Yeah.
A fine example there, although it may not have been super apparent. I mean, it was obviously apparent because the keepers did a ton of work, but those keepers allowed me to really bank a ton of money and let me put this massive Satori out, have money for Cunning, 2 Fate Alibi, and I still had a Fate Worse in hand. So keepers, again, pretty big form of high roll.
Yeah. Feels really good when you flip those 2 keepers on the first turn.
Yeah, you were just like, oh, sweet, awesome. That's great.
Yeah, even so, I think if I hadn't thrown myself into the abandoning honor, I'd still probably be fighting in this game.
Yes, I think you would still be fighting in this game, and I think there's also... I don't want to put the biggest amount of stock on it because I don't want to make an excuse for you, but it definitely does hurt not seeing displays against Scorpion. That's just a fact. You know, not seeing displays feels pretty bad.
It's true. But, yeah, just in terms of what I could have actually done with the situation I was in, I was definitely very confident. I was like, oh, he's not going to play cards on me so that I break this. And then you played cards on me so that I broke it.
I absolutely will. Because in that situation, it's either I let you keep farming that province forever.
Yeah.
Which I don't want you to do because my province row is like a fucking... It's a minefield.
Yeah.
As much as it sucks for you to reveal another province there, that I think was one of the more crucial mistakes in the game, was allowing me even the opportunity to explode that master. Because even if you hit like a secret cache and I got a really good card, or shameful, or if I let you break up holding, it's not as bad as losing your 7 fate value master of Gisei Toshi.
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
well, do you want to send me your deck list?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, that was a great example of punishing mistakes.
I'm going to copy this and give you the big old long Jigoku list.
Sure.
I don't know if I have it saved in my Bushi builder.
Hit me with the wall of text.
If you want to send me yours.
Sure.
I'll definitely change one or two things and get mad at you.
I threw it together in about 2
dude.
seconds. So
I'm a rude dude with a bad attitude.
I call this Moyasu Scorpion. Alright, incoming wall of text. Boom.
Alright, love walls of text. Copy this bad Larry right here. Make a new deck.
Oh, I feel so weird to see that Scorpion icon in my deck lists. It's just like 10 Phoenix lists and then 1 Scorpion list.
Alright. I've done it, I think. Oh, hell yeah. That's my best friend, Isawa Tadaka.
He's a pretty good guy to have around.
Love to see it, folks. Get this bad Larry cooking. Hey, I won the die roll this time. It's just the Phoenix player luck.
Yeah, it just goes to Phoenix, actually, on Jigoku. So I imagine I'm putting Midnight Revels under my stronghold here.
Yes.
Wow, look at this row. This is such a sick row. It's like literally the one area that Phoenix is not super tight in, is the row.
Boy. Stuff is certainly happening.
Yeah. Yeah, I would agree with that.
All right, well, you may have got me.
We'll see how my piloting skills are. I think this is the first time I've ever had a Hidden Moon Dojo flip in like the 3 Scorpion games that I've played.
It's exhilarating.
Yeah. Wow, slams pass.
Never passed harder in my life. All right. I didn't mean to pass. Sorry, that's conflict phase. I'm going to manual mode this out.
Sure, go ahead.
I'm going to put 1 fate on it so you can assassinate it for sweet value.
Excellent.
And I'm going to trigger it.
Yeah.
I'm going to manually trigger this. Does it work?
It should. I think you can discard cards.
Why? Listen.
Hang on. You might need to go to like the let's see, one of the commands. I'm looking. Let's see. Oh, I don't. Oh, that's discard from hand. Yeah. I don't know. You can only show or shuffle.
I'm gonna go into my deck, and you're just gonna trust me.
Sure.
Because I'm not going to cheat during a demonstration.
This is an educational game. Really. Yeah. I'm not going to cheat during a demonstration. Other times, I will cheat.
Our court games, Supernatural Storm, and Display of Power. I definitely didn't cheat there. Like, I actually didn't.
All right. No, I believe you.
Looks like I did, because those are pretty good. I cheated.
I mean, you're playing Phoenix. If you hit spells, they're pretty good.
Yeah. All right, now I'm good to go. Sorry about that.
No problem.
I was so aggressively passing in that dynasty phase, it just carried over.
Let's see. Do you still have manual mode enabled?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
We're good.
It still says we're in manual mode.
Oh, I think we're good.
Hang on. Let me refresh. I left the page to go to the help thing, so.
Yes. Classic Isawa Reidaka here.
Classic Chigoku networking code. Okay, cool. We're back.
All right. Let's initiate this here conflict.
We're just gonna hope this doesn't hit anything too bad.
All right.
Okay. All right.
That's a pretty good hit. I take those.
Korimori on the row.
Yeah.
So
it's really good.
Yeah, no, I had a bunch of people tell me this, that I should be playing it on my row against Scorpion. Probably makes a lot of sense since you never really care to get to my stronghold anyway.
I sure don't. So there's a couple things I can do here, and I'm just going to telegraph the turn, which is fine.
I mean, you can DOP for sure.
Right. I can either DOP this and gain an honor off the exchange, claim the ring, and then I'm still down on favor, so I have to, or on glory, so I still have to try to swing in with this other conflict character in my hand. If I swing in with this other conflict character, I have to assume that you purposely allowed me to claim an earth ring without using assassination, which is wrong, for the record. But,
yeah, I agree.
You know, there's always a world where, like, I got slow rolled or whatever the case, and I go to play this character and I get owned and you assassinate me. I feel really bad. So we're going to find out, because I'm going to do this.
Yeah, that's a pretty good way to deal with that.
Well, heck.
Oh, gee, Rick. We'll play a Goblin Sneak.
Ah, jeez.
Oh, 6 is such a big number to get to, though, when I'm looking at the cards that I'm looking at.
It's actually quite literally impossible for you to get to it.
Yeah.
I'm just going to do that.
Yep, yep.
All right. Conflict phase. Well, I think I have to take advantage of this.
Yeah, I did not get an assassinate. Otherwise, I definitely would have slammed that Shrine Maiden.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was like, I think Ray knows the deck enough that he knows he just assassinates every Earth Ring he ever can.
Yeah.
With extreme prejudice. So I'd love to say, oh, I'll honor my guy because it makes sense to do that versus Scorpion, but damn, this game doesn't make sense ever, and I hate it. So I'm going to not do that.
I think Void is pretty solid, just to get rid of the liar.
Yep. It's quite nice. the Lyre being a pretty good way in which Scorpion can start dual pressure, because breaking threes naturally is simultaneously a good and bad thing for them.
Just gonna do this real quick. Little court games action.
All right. I'm picking up what you're putting down. I'm smelling what you're stepping in, bud. I guess I'll casually pass. I'll avoid that there Lyre.
Yeah.
And I'll realize quite a bit late that I unfortunately have made a bit of a misplay here. So I faded that Shrine Maiden because I talk about how I should always fade those, but I should not have faded that Shrine Maiden because I'm going to play an Ancient Master.
Oh.
And having a fade on an Ancient Master against Scorpion is so fucking good.
Yeah, having that fade on Ancient Master would be a lot better.
It sure would be. But hey, it'd be that way sometimes. Ancient Master is a broken card, by the way. It's very unfair.
Pay 1, gain the favor. Most of the time.
So, the unfortunate reality of what's happening right now is I'm fairly certain this game is over.
Wow.
Because now I select all 3 of these rings, I gain 3 honor, and you are being Conjo locked for the rest of the game. And Scorpion struggles immensely to deal with Conjo lock.
Because you had an Ancestral Shrine, right?
Yes. So, this is a way in which Phoenix can high roll Scorpion, but it's also important to note that this isn't purely a high roll thing. This is just a good way to stabilize. Stealing the favor from Scorpion, Conjo District, and Ancestral Shrine are all crucial cards in the matchup because, or crucial things to do to deal with, etc. In the matchup, because you not having favor right now is probably pretty fucking spooky. And on top of that, Conjo is just Conjo on Kurai Mori for Scorpion. You probably can never break that, and that's really bad news.
And I'm actually in a pretty shitty situation here with regards to my holdings, right? Because Hidden Moon Dojo is like being blocked by the Palace, but I really don't want to drop the Palace when you have Conjo.
Correct. There's all sorts of bad stuff happening. Boom.
I think I just need to get rid of the dojo.
I'm going to manual mode this and say that you remembered to box me.
Oh, yeah, I have a stronghold. Thanks.
Hey, a palace. I guess I just really do win. Oh, fawning. Hey, check it out.
Oh, Jesus. It's all coming up, Luis. You should buy a lottery ticket tonight, dude.
Yeah.
Luck is with you. 2 fawning diplomats and a shameless gossip. Well, fawning diplomat is good.
Here. Yeah, you literally have to buy it. It's unfortunate that sometimes that's the way it be, but
I'm glad that I have a way that I can just scoop favor from you if you don't put a cloud on him.
Yeah. So I was at such a massive amount of honor buffer there that it's okay to just jam a 5-bid there.
Yeah, that was totally fine. Yeah.
And now your box is not active, so you have to have drawn an assassination there, and if you didn't, it's bad news bears. Missing activations on box, either through player error or just because you literally cannot activate it, it's actually a pretty big deal for Scorpion now. Back when the box was much more broken, it wasn't the worst to not be able to trigger it each turn, but now it is such a crucial part of getting to your win con.
So I'm going to go after the Ancestral Shrine. Oh boy.
Seeker of Earth, sweet.
So that's a 6 strength Ancestral Shrine, or 6 strength Upholding Authority, I should say.
Yeah, it is. It's quite nice. Now I just have the debate on what exactly it is I'm going to be doing here.
No defenders. Gosh, it's so hard to make numbers with the cards here.
Yeah. Making 6 with those cards is, again, quite literally not possible for you right now.
Like, my ability...
not in any way that you would not want to die doing.
Yeah, my ability to buff my characters is limited to, like, Bonsai. Yeah, take that.
No, boss.
Although, looking at the cards in my hand, I probably should have put that on Shrine Maiden.
God, you know, the air ring is like cute, but man, the earth ring's so good, huh?
Yeah.
What a nice ring. Really love me the earth ring, gotta tell you. Oh, sorry, I meant to send both Shrine Maidens there.
Alright, move 'em in. Move 'em in.
Boom. Showing
Alright,
2.
showing 2.
The big 2, baby. No, boss.
Just trying to get those pings going, you know? Show me the cloud.
Well, you know, come on. What's your problem?
Am I too cunning for you?
Oh no, upholding.
Super in danger. I'll just play a Soup Storm on my Fawning Diplomat. Oh man, it happened.
Oh, wait a second. This is a 5 strength upholding.
Yeah, it's 6/6 with the shrine.
Oh yeah. Well, I guess I wasted that.
I thought you were just really investing in trying to get me to break.
Oh, you've got 6 cards in your hand?
I do.
Huh. Let's keep it up. Keep it up.
All right,
Pump
all
it up,
right.
baby.
Double Raydog special, I like it. Oh, the triple.
Oh, baby, a
the
triple.
triple. Damn. Oh, you're gonna like what you see in this hand and what you get to do to it.
Oh, do you just lose?
We're gonna lose some bombs this turn, folks. Oh my god, is that the third one? Oh, it's the second one. Okay. Got my head spinning.
I was like, man, does he have a Kikyo here? Oh. I think you just lose, right?
Oh, dude. 2 Fate Worse Than Death? Yeah, who needs those? Who needs them? I do want to discard Ancestral Shrine. I really do. Because, man, I was really hanging on to those Fate Worse Than Death for Regina here. Oh, no. No, you're gonna murder Fawning Diplomat, and then I'm not gonna get the favor.
It's gonna be sweet.
Oh, it's not gonna be sweet.
Do I do that?
Just thinking back as a rookie Scorpion player, I should have Fire Ringed my Goblin Sneak, and then I could Noble Sack your Ujina.
Yes.
That would have been the good play.
Also, remember, if you Noble Sack using a Fawning, you take favor early.
Right, yeah.
Like, you take favor before I can even react. Like, I can't even censure the Noble Sack because she's dead.
Right.
Before I even have the option. Okay, so if I do this, we're even, huh? Wait a second.
Mm-hmm.
That was sloppy. I might have just thrown, but I don't think I did.
I don't think you did.
Just thinking here.
Do I want to let Upholding break? Kinda.
So a couple potential picks here.
Oh boy. So yeah, I mean, Clouds, Censure, maybe Consumed. Although I don't feel super worried about that.
The Clouds offer value. The Censure hard stops like every bomb you want to play. There's obviously Katana value, but that's not really a huge deal. The Ancient Master stops you from getting favor if there's ever a chance you get it. Like, there's definitely a couple picks here. I'm not sure what's correct.
Well, you got rid of 2 of my Fate Worse Than Death.
Yep.
I probably am not super worried about Censure. And I do have a Cunning Magistrate on the table, so I'm going to get rid of the 2 Clouds.
Sounds like a plan.
That favors mine for a
favor.
little while. For a little while.
for that fleeting moment.
And it's gone.
You love to see it, folks. You really do. Take it that. Didn't even use Conjure that turn.
Nope.
Just too busy displaying.
Oh, good card.
What a card. It's mildly obnoxious, I guess. Oh no, it's an alibi artist.
Yeah, man.
Good luck. I'm sure you can get down there.
Oh, yeah. Huh. This card is gated behind having 6 honor. I knew that. Those are things I knew. Let's see those assassinates, baby.
What are you gonna do? Kill me? You might kill me, but I mean...
That's what I'm hoping. I tell you, my toolbox is feeling extremely limited with these 5 cards in hand.
Yeah. Yeah, I would think so. What are you gonna do? Kill me? Hey there, look, check it out.
A favor is actually working for me here. Why you gotta do that? Come on.
Yeah, absolutely not, Ray.
Just trying to play some court games over here.
Hey, forget about it.
I'm court games in here.
Boy, I'm not a big fan of us. I gotta tell you.
Oh.
Isn't this card's sick?
Man.
Imagine if I just let you resolve a Fate Worse than Death and it didn't matter because I played Clarity. That'd be so sweet.
I wish I had a Mark of Shame here. I'm about to backhand myself to look for cards. But I know that's not correct.
Sometimes it is. In my top 16 game at Gen Con, it got to such a dire point that I backhanded myself and dutied so I could draw cards. Like, I backhanded myself that would kill me just to draw one card that forced me to play my own duty. It was sick. It was awful, the worst play I've ever made, but like I had to. It was the only thing I had left.
It's like an anti-combo, like backhand into duty on yourself.
Yeah, just so you could draw the one card off the backhand and lose anyways. Oh,
Wow. Enjoy that money.
I absolutely will.
Oh, what a good card.
It's quite nice, yes. It's really especially strong versus Scorpion.
I'm starting to feel the saltiness that you and Eric have for Phoenix players.
Not that you have the cards in hand, but if you did and you couldn't play them, you'd feel way worse, right? Just mark my words there.
Oh yeah. Yeah, if I had a hand of 17 cards and you just had Tadaka on the table.
Yeah. I'm mad thinking about it. All right. Let's get this bad Larry going. Check it out. But this might be... That might be Secret Cash. Come on.
It's 50-50.
Shit.
It is Secret Cash.
You know, that's probably better than Shameful, all things considered, right now. You get a sweet card, dude.
I did get a sweet card.
There you go.
Man, I just so don't want to get Uchina'd on my Fawning Diplomat 2 turns in a row. But I don't think I can stop it. Then you're risking the devastating crackback from Cunning Magistrate, though.
Yeah, you have to not defend this. If you defend this, I'm gonna get through anyways. Like, I know your hand.
Yeah.
There's not really much you could have drawn. And you're getting the favor, so like if there's a crucial event you want to try to resolve on your crackback, you can now. Or at least attempt to. Whereas like if you defend, because I'm losing favor anyways, I'm just gonna conjure that cunning, like
right. That's true. You've got Conjo online.
Sure do. I'm breaking, so I guess I'll pass.
Pretty good. All right, let's see if we can't pull off some fancy flying here.
Would be quite sweet.
Oh man, Cory Mori on Conjo, or Conjo on Cory Mori. It's like, what the fuck?
Do you understand a little bit, right?
That is a combo.
Even a slight modicum of my absolute misery at certain times in this matchup.
Yeah.
Here you go. Got the fatty 3 military, right? Oh, you're gonna dishonor a guy. Hey, wait a second. I don't like that.
What are you gonna do? Display me?
Yeah.
No.
No, that'd be sick though. Dude, you want a break? Bro, you're gonna bonsai me like that, bro?
I just did it.
You hit me with that one, bro.
I'm trying to get rid of this palace. Maybe someday I'll claim favor. Be pretty cool.
Yeah. That's definitely what's gonna happen. I don't care about that palace. You got me. Huh? Oh! Hey, wait a second. What's going on? What's this funny business you're getting up to here?
Oh, it's some funny business.
Oh no! It's that kind of funny business, Ray. Come on. All right, I'll give it up. That was some pretty high quality funny business.
Oh, and after I got favor because of Ujina, it's like, mwah, perfect.
Yep, little chef kiss right there.
It's amazing how many cards I had to spend to make that effect happen.
Yeah, it's not quite like, it's definitely a little point and click, but it's not quite as free as people make it out to be.
No. I mean, I needed a fire ring, I needed a mark of shame, and noble sack. And so I spent 2 cards, 3 money, and a ring to kill a guy. You really got to think of it that way.
Pretty sweet. That watering has 3 money and it still fucking blows. The worst ring ever.
Well, I guess if you don't flop an Ujina and he stays with no fate, it might be useful. But I mean, you still have Against the Waves, so I don't know. It does cost money.
Oh.
Hmm.
All these cards are really good.
Interesting.
Oh, what was the card that does nothing and that's why it's interesting?
No, it does stuff. I got things. I got stuff. 3 of them, sure. Exactly.
Well, I know one of them is a censure.
Yeah, you do know that.
Invincible.
I sure do, bud. I sure do.
How to not die. Well, if this is Upholding and this is Vassal, and this is Korimori, this is probably Meditations. You have played exactly 0 Against the Waves.
Yeah, 3 money not looking so good right now.
And it does look pretty good.
You're currently in the process of not dying. So does the watering make you not die?
Well, not directly. I mean, all I'm thinking is that I force one of your characters to bow and then force you to unbow them. At best.
I'm definitely gonna unbow them.
You
right?
can.
I've seen enough cards that you can assume I have an against the waves in my hand.
Yeah. Do I just do nothing and try to not die when you attack me?
Either you need to kill me this turn somehow, which, given that your hand has a censure and then 2 other cards, even if those are 2 backhands, you would need to blackmail me and air ring me, which is a total of 3, and still make me lose an honor some other way. So there's like probably not a kill happening.
No.
Even if there's 2 backhands in your hand.
No.
Which means you need to not die.
Which means I should just pass this conflict.
Most likely.
And then die. But I'll die correctly.
You'll die honorably.
Yeah, weirdly enough. 11 honor over here.
I don't even think there's a way you could stop me from killing you here. I'm trying to think of what cards could do it.
Nick saying in chat, I should have bid 5 on this turn.
Yeah. You needed to not die. I think you're just dead now.
Oh, but that Midnight Revels, bro?
Oh shit, bro. You getting it, bro. Hit me, baby. All right. Ah, heck. All right. Let's do this bad Larry right here.
Good one, good one.
Do that bad Larry right there.
Oh, that's a good card. Let's see, you're still not breaking? Okay. What could a Phoenix player possibly do to get... Oh, okay. I'm gonna scoop up that fan real quick. Oh. The Conjo. I slapped myself.
Did it work?
No.
All right.
I'm gonna play this card just because I can, but no, I'm dead. Yeah, for shame.
All right. I'm gonna play this card just because I can. What is it? What cards I got?
Just play the Soup Storm. Do the Phoenix thing.
I'm not a Phoenix player, bitch.
Just trying to get that value, baby.
It's all about that value, baby. Let's go.
Bam. All right.
Did it.
You did do it. So yeah. Scorpion combos are really expensive, and half your cards are dead a lot of the time, and boy, Upholding Authority really hoses you, but it hoses a lot of people.
Yeah. If
So,
you hit
yeah.
Upholding, you probably die on the spot as Scorpion. I'm not saying that other clans don't.
Yeah.
But, like, I really want to stress, if we ever accidentally break Upholding past, like, turn 1, it probably games us. It's really brutal.
Yeah, and it's, I mean, you really need all your toolbox pieces for this thing to work. So if you lose, like, a big chunk of them, it does really hurt. Especially when you're trying to... You want to drop your bids at some point, so you're not seeing a ton of cards. I think Nick made a good point that I probably could have bid 5 there, because I don't care if my honor goes down. Like, maybe I can turn on Alibi Artist and get something that'll save me.
You need to just get cards that could possibly save you, although...
Yeah.
Losing the 2 Fate Verses means that like you're probably just boned anyways.
Yeah.
Against Nyx, the unfortunate reality is I mean, obviously, you know, I had a pretty fucking bitchin' start, but you need like almost all your bombs against Phoenix always, and you generally have to spend them on stuff that isn't named Tadaka, which is why Tadaka just kills you when he shows up, because eventually they force you to do something. Like they force you to use something, or they earth ring something crucial. Like Phoenix has a very good way of forcing you to use your cards when you don't want to, which is pretty rough.
Yeah. So let's see. Let's try and come up with like main takeaways here. For Scorpion matchup. So I think one, their resources and their bombs are really expensive, and you just gotta kind of try and survive through them and don't give them value, which means don't honor your characters unless they're already dishonored.
Yep.
Try not to let's see, I tripped into abandoning honor, which let you get like a much cheaper kill effect off. You're not spending the money for noble sack or the body or the honored character.
I spent 2 cards and 2 fate, and I killed a character that was worth 7, and also one of the best characters against me, which was a big, huge swing in that game. It didn't kill you outright, but it was the big mistake that I latched onto in that game and really took home.
Right. Remember that if you're under, like, if you're 7 or below, you're in the danger zone. The danger zone is not 3. The danger zone is, like, 7.
Correct.
It depends on cards they have in hand, obviously, but it's where you're, like, potentially in the danger zone.
Also, for those who may be watching or watching later, my bids against Ray as a Scorpion player in that game, or me being Phoenix and him being Scorpion, I would not recommend. I don't want to say this in a way that's going to sound condescending, but I wouldn't recommend people emulate those bids even in the same circumstances unless they are deeply familiar with Scorpion. The only reason I was comfortable going down as low as I did in Honor after working my way up to such a high number is because I know that Scorpion deck like the back of my hand. It is basically a part of me at this point.
Yeah.
If I didn't, and I didn't want to take any risks, like I could have lowered my bids much more than I did and still been in a fine spot. So don't take those risks with bids unless you are extremely confident in your knowledge of the deck.
Yeah. I mean, the Ancestral Shrine gave you a giant buffer, but there are very few clans that can field a, get that much honor on turn 1.
Yeah, Ancestral Shrine sure is a card. Although there was a fair bit of high roll here, again, I hope it does show that there are a few cards in the Phoenix lineup that brutalize Scorpion. Ancestral Shrine is one of them. I mean, that card, it kind of just kills you on the spot. Like turn 1, this game was essentially over. With all due respect to you as a player, it wasn't your fault. It's just there are things that can take your opponent completely out of reach as a Scorpion player, and Ancestral Shrine is one of them.
What do you think in the other clans are stuff like what cards do you just hate to see as a Scorpion player?
Air Roll Crane is essentially an unwinnable matchup for Scorpion because they can match and generally get better value out of stuff. So like if I Mark of Shame, they SBR and it was cheaper, and them's the breaks.
Yep, it's just actually cheaper. Yep.
They also, with Air Roll, again, they can kind of maintain the ability to either play or stop me from playing Voice of Honor, which is big. From Dragon, Kitsuki Investigator is a card that if we cannot deal with it right away or play around it magnificently, it can basically just game us, because having hand knowledge against Scorpion is fucking huge. It is insane. Even the stuff I was doing against your small hand, I could only really do because I knew most of your hand up until you had like 1 or 2 cards left.
Yeah, that's true. Because if you know, like, okay, there's no Noble Sack, or there's no Fate Worse Than Death, or there's no Mark of Shame, like that opens up a lot of avenues for you to just like hammer that vulnerability while you have it.
Exactly. Like knowing that you had 1 Censure and 2 other cards in your hand let me just shoot for game there with no fear, and it made me know that you literally could not kill me that turn. The deck is not capable of killing me that turn.
Yeah.
So huge there, hand knowledge. And so again, Kitsuki Investigator for Dragon. If we're talking crab, I'm going to keep it super honest, and this is beyond me typically being pretty hyperbolic, but crab, frankly, just can't beat Scorpion very often. It is a horrendously losing matchup. It's one of the worst in the game. It's brutal. You basically have to hope that they low roll and that you combo off on them with Mado. Otherwise, you probably are never beating Scorpion, unfortunately.
So you think that's probably like the strongest matchup for Scorpion is crab?
Yeah, I think Scorpion is strong into non-air roll Crane, but into any crab roll, it's almost ungodly how difficult it is for crab to even begin to get its game plan in motion. It's like it's hard to over-exaggerate how like borderline unwinnable that matchup is for crab.
Yeah.
It's rough. It's always been bad, but it's just got worse and worse.
Yeah. Yeah, crab is just kind of taking incremental losses to their strength.
Yeah, especially versus Scorpion. Just here and there, little things like added up, and it's just brutal.
Yeah.
I'm sure I'm forgetting like half the clans because I always do. Lion, I basically never want to see them flop any card ever because like all their cards are really good against Scorpion.
Okay. I mean, their ability to
is incredible.
Yeah, right. Obstinate Recruit, their ability to... They have some sort of, like, ways to gain honor to sort of as, like, incidentals, and...
Yes.
Their ability to, like, pump out numbers. Like, that's one thing that the Scorpion deck just doesn't produce numbers. It can debuff guys, it can kill guys, but it doesn't make big numbers. It just doesn't.
Correct. And Lion with Yoja no Shiro and just minimal investment at times, like they become the control deck often against Scorpion because they just have the means to continuously exert pressure on Scorpion while not actually spending resources. You know, Obstinate Recruit doesn't cost them any money. Matsu Berserker costs them 1, and we basically have to assassinate it every time. Ikoma Prodigy gains them an honor, and again, it's a chud. There's just a lot of ways that they have to really start exerting pressure on us with minimal resource expenditure, which is exactly what Scorpion does not want to deal with.
Yeah.
They don't want to deal with somebody who doesn't have to spend much to get stuff. We want you to try and fail.
And I think the only other clan you didn't mention is Unicorn. And against them, you basically just want them to gas out, I guess.
Yeah. We desperately want them to not get a good turn 1. Because if they get a good turn 1, the odds are pretty high that we just can't kill them, unfortunately. Yeah. Because we have a finite amount of cancels, and eventually they'll get something through. Particularly the Lion Splash gives Scorpion a ton of trouble because Ready for Battle is exceptionally powerful versus us.
That's interesting. I wouldn't expect that. Because of force shame?
Yeah. When we force shame to bow, it's often because like we desperately need to not die. Just being able to Ready for Battle even a fate worse than that sometimes actually matters.
That's true, yeah.
And on top of that, they've got cards like Strength in Numbers, which are brutally powerful versus Cunning Magistrate, which is one of our best ways to, again, not die.
Yeah, Strength in Numbers. That's actually a great card to get around Cunning Magistrate. That's a good point.
Yep, absolutely. They have awesome tools to deal with it in general. And because Scorpion struggles to make numbers, although we can debuff you and kill guys and etc., Unicorn... to some extent, not always, but to some extent, they kind of forsake a lot of value in favor of just killing you.
Uh-huh.
And a lot of times that's enough to just kill Scorpion. Like, we can't make enough numbers to defend, and we can't actually... You kind of saw firsthand, like, our bombs cost a lot. If they just, put a free +3 force attachment on a guy...
Yeah.
Like, we just have to assassinate it, and if we can't assassinate it, we have to fate worse or try to kill it. We only have so much fate to work with, and they have pretty cheap ways of just pumping out that pressure.
Yeah. All right, so cool. I think that's a pretty solid rundown. Be aggressive, and if your clan can afford to do that, and don't give them value if your clan doesn't do that. Try and outlast them.
And
it's about again, not dying, not about winning.
Exactly. The best thing to remember is don't die, because eventually you'll win if you don't die. And on top of that, really truly understand that it is not going to feel good. It is going to feel bad when they kill your people, but remember that is just what Scorpion does. It's not that sometimes it's not that you did literally anything wrong. They sometimes didn't have to outplay you. You didn't have to mess up. Sometimes your guy just dies, and that's okay. You have to push through it and understand that's what they do. Just keep buying your guys, and eventually they'll run out of stuff, assuming you're also dodging all sorts of other minefields.
Yeah, don't get tilted. Stay aware. Dodge the minefields, and win. And don't die.
Absolutely, not dying is a great strategy.
Much better than winning, just not dying.
Yeah, it's the European special.
All right, well, I think we'll wrap it up there. If you folks want to hear more of Luis's amazing opinions, but in a far more belligerent way, listen to NAL5R on Wednesday on twitch.tv/NAL5R.
It's true. Every Wednesday at 7:30 p.m. EST, we do a podcast. I'm generally much more rude and much more belligerent there, but I gotta be a little polite on Ray's, platform.
Honestly, I think it's just you and Eric. It's like, like in third grade, like the teachers have to separate like the two kids. Like they're fine alone, but like if your desk is next to Eric's desk, you're just troublemakers. Yeah.
A little bit of a brouhaha.
All right, well, thanks for watching, folks. Shout out to Volabearable for following me. Pretty cool. 1 like equals 1 free the roll, so that's important to get that karma out in the universe. Have a good night, folks.